It's me, guys. It's Jeff.
Oh, hey, Jeff. Okay, so
Sorry,
we're back in,
no,
good catch. We're back in open session at 6:35 PM. And on to monthly financials.
So,
I figured since it was the first month, I wasn't gonna go, I didn't, you know how we go through usually line by line and like, what's this, so it's your show.
Okay, so taking that into account, and I know that we didn't have like a formal meeting where we actually show you where we landed from last year. So the very first sheet, 5 of 14, is actually where we landed. We actually just did the soft close today, a matter of fact, to kind of close the system out. So we came with 419, 819, 31. The 216, I believe, or 216 of the 219 is one open purchase order, which is for the smart boards, and which is just getting them in, and we went over those this morning, so they are coming. So that's kind of where we landed, which I think is pretty good because we did do a scramble at the end of the year from the direction from the board to spend some of the surplus we had, which we did. But it also came to the point where, you know, we did buy a new curriculum. We have been flush with money the past couple of years. So I kind of drew the line on what we were going to spend the money on because I have that responsibility and it is the taxpayers' money. So we have to draw the line at some point. And we did buy as many supplies for the kids as that we could. And
Perfect.
This is kind of where we landed.
Great. That's good. You were able to get supplies too?
Yes, we did. Yes, and we also had the grants, some grants that were that we had to spend down by the end of June 30th. So there was a little bit of grant money we took into account also. So
regarding supplies, again, this is coming from some of the younger teachers, but also other teachers that have to go out. They always every year go out and buy supplies. And I know some of the teachers, I was told, like to decorate their own room, which is, I guess, out of their pocket. But are we providing the teachers with all the supplies they really need? I don't know who I'm asking here. But
I think that's a great
teacher right
question.
there.
Well, okay, that's true, but I just want to say as the director.
I know that
From our teachers,
so my question is,
So need versus wants, because you're right.
Right,
That's
need versus
that's a
wants,
critical
but-
point to me, right?
It is a critical point to make need versus want. We also send home supply lists to our families and ask them to send in supplies, crayons, pencils, markers.
So shouldn't we be, I mean, if we have extra surplus, should we try to provide those things or?
So
I have
from
no
Are they
idea.
not provided? We don't have
You
pencils.
can't bring it forward, you have to.
They're on
send
our
it
supply
here.
list.
So there's no pencils in the school?
There are pencils if you don't get what you need from the parent contributions.
So then-
crayons are-
And we're not, like, as far as the middle schools, I mean, I know that supply closets have been rearranged, and I know that there's been a lot of stuff all over the place that people have tried to inventory and see what's going on. So as things are discovered that have been packed away in places, we'll get things, but I don't ever hear that we're getting like large amounts of pencils. I mean, they seem to be there, but I don't necessarily know what we have available to us. I mean, if I put in staples, I know I'm getting staples, but like, it took a while before staplers were available because there weren't anymore. So I don't know what each building has to purchase supplies with, and I don't know that we as teachers know exactly what's available to us.
I would agree with that statement.
Scott?
From a budgetary standpoint, I could tell you that all the schools are notified to buy what they needed.
Yeah, I'm not passing it on you.
No, but I haven't gotten one call, you know, saying, can we buy this? Or do we still have money from last year? So I think it was well communicated to our schools and to the teachers to buy what they needed to buy. Because nothing would break my heart more than, you know, a first grader who can't buy his little Stardust or something to do his arts and craft. That would, you know, that would kill me. So
is it safe to say that if teachers have purchased, now I don't know, I don't want to open a big can of worms, but if they have purchased supplies, should they contact you for?
They can't get reimbursed.
They can't get reimbursed.
I think it becomes an issue, just from what I'm hearing, and obviously new to it, but I think from what it seems like is that while we put out some lists and things come back in, we also have some supplies, but maybe that's just not readily known. So maybe that's a conversation that Sue and I just need to have with our administrative team to say, hey, what do we have? Have we shared that with our staff? Because we want our staff to know that, maybe you need a stapler and 3 things of staples, and maybe you need a box of number 2 pencils, and maybe we need the crayons, right? So I think if we just kind of have, I think from what I'm hearing, it almost sounds more communication-wise, rather than if we have it, because Scott hasn't gotten the phone call saying, hey, I need to order 18 dozen number 2 pencils. Because obviously we're not going to say no. I mean, that's
Right.
Scott find it.
Yeah, I wasn't blaming
Yeah. No, I didn't say no. No,
Yeah.
but I appreciate your question, because I think that's sometimes what I'm hearing is just that layer of maybe the schools have the 18 boxes of number 2 pencils,
Right.
but maybe they didn't communicate that with the teachers well enough to say,
Yep.
just put in a request and we'll give them to you.
Yep.
As opposed to, here's the key to the supply closet, go take 18
Yeah.
boxes.
Right.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
so, and you're.
So that, I'm just thinking that's a communication piece.
We are also asked as a grade level team at the end of the school
I was gonna
year,
ask that.
what it is that we would
Exactly.
like to have purchased. That doesn't mean, when we do it as a grade level team, so then we put Nikki folders, which are school home folders,
Yep.
construction paper, those kinds of things. So, and as far as I know, we're getting those. We haven't been told we're not getting those things. So there are supplies that are being ordered, but things like markers and crayons and Play-Doh, we do ask, we do have a supply list that goes home to families. If families contribute them, great. If they don't, there's no there's usually plenty from what supplies do come into the building. And as far as teachers purchasing things on their own, it is need versus want, some of that. If there are things that I want, I'm going out to purchase them, or if I want something special to decorate my room, borders, those kinds of things, I'm purchasing those myself.
So if you come to the next year and you discover you need something else, you can still place an order, correct?
Yes, well, we can make that request, but I don't know, it all depends on the budget and funding. It's
Right.
a conversation.
So the budget for supplies isn't all used before the school starts. So you can always, I'm not saying always, but there's a possibility to place more orders.
Of course.
Okay.
And just to clarify, during the budget season, and Sue, you were in those,
Yes.
when we got to supplies, I think with most of the schools, I was like, why is the number so low?
We asked the question, there was like $1,000 for supplies at one school, I want to say Torrington, the numbers were so low that I remember asking how.
But they
Will
might have
this
had a
accommodate-
stash and they found it, so they didn't need it to be that high for that particular year. Anything could be possible, but.
Your new administrative assistant was the person in charge at the middle school of the supplies, so she may be able to give you some insight. And she
only gives me 1 pencil. Totally joking. No,
That's it for the
we-
year.
That's
All
it.
you
We won't
get.
throw her under the bus. She's great. She's great.
Yeah, so
Yes.
she really knows how it worked
No,
on the other side.
And I think that's what it comes down to, just more of the,
Communication.
because you're right, if someone needs something, we're not going to say no if we have the monies in the line.
In Channel 3, I've heard Torrington teachers have like wish lists and such.
That's very
And there
popular.
was-
A lot of teachers do that just for their wish stuff. I think
Yeah.
it's great.
And there was a businesswoman in town who posted on Facebook for teachers to post their Amazon wish lists.
I saw that
And,
too, yeah.
and a lot of people have done that, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of charity out there
Mhm,
and it's just making sure you find it and get your name in there.
Mhm.
Can I just add one thing? So the way that I always thought it worked, is that the school would issue very standard basic things, like your 8-pack of crayons and typically, and a ruler, a few pencils, not the fancy scented stuff
Mhm.
and, the
Right.
big box of crayons and that kind of thing. That's
We used to get that at East School, I mean, we're going back that far,
right.
yes, but I don't know that, and I'm only familiar with what who's at our school, so I don't know.
Correct.
the
And
rest of
then,
the
as
schools.
Michael was saying, and Jason too, there's, these supply closets that, I mean, I can remember one year finding enough paper clips to last a lifetime. We
Yeah.
could have,
Yeah.
outfitted
The
the
whole
entire
district.
district with paper clips. So,
Yeah.
and, if we had the paper clips, you guys probably had the staples, and it just, so, and as, I just want to underscore what Scott was saying, during the budget season, when the principals all came forward, they had an opportunity to share what their needs were. So certainly, that's the information we were operating
Yeah.
with, Yeah. So again, I think Mike's on point. Maybe it's just about communicating
Yeah.
that information. Yeah.
And then, the supply lists home are not new. I'm not gonna say how old I am. We got those every year.
Right,
when
yeah.
I was in elementary.
They've
Right?
updated.
It's not
Yeah.
new.
Right.
It's not like all of a sudden we're doing
You're
this.
right. And I think those supply lists, those are not sent home as requirements, right? They're sent home as, because parents call and ask,
Right.
what do you guys need?
Right.
And some parents will send in 25 boxes of Kleenex, right? And it's,
Right.
so people just really want to
And
help.
crayons get broke and.
Exactly. They're so excited that they're going to be able to ship their kids off again soon.
Yeah.
They want to,
Accommodate.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Scott.
Okay, so what I'd like to do, and I don't know the protocol, is I'd like to earmark the 200,000 is going to be earmarked for the turf field, obviously, but the 219, 819, 31, which is what's left over, I'd like to earmark that for some capital projects, so we could get it in the reserve, voted on by the city, so they can never, or so the money's there for us when we need it. And I know that we just had one approved last month, but there wasn't really any IT, and Rachel and I have been talking, and IT has some capital spending that they'd like to earmark that 219 for. Because we seem to have a lot of the other items, school items covered via John Barlow's list that was approved by the city.
So do we have Rachel's list, or is that forthcoming?
We're getting it together.
Okay. Jason?
Is that 219, 819, and 31 cents, is that including the 216 you said that's open for smart boards, or is that already taken out?
No, that's net. So the 419, 819, 31 is our net for the year. That's what we have left over.
Yeah,
200,000 of it is going to go for the turf field, which we all know what that's for.
Yeah.
right.
And then we have 219, 819, 31 left over as a surplus that we want to earmark, so the money is going to be spent for our capital needs.
So that 216 is
116.
prior,
You said 116 for smart boards, I thought, right?
216.
216, oh.
that's before,
That's-
that was taken out before the year-end surplus.
Or is that-
That's not part of,
The 419, 819, 31 is a net number of where we are. That's the
Minus-
bottom line number.
Oh, so that's, okay, so that, I'm looking at it like you are. So
yes,
200,000 off.
He meant it was open, but it was already out of that number.
it's already
Yeah,
out of the.
open,
It's
in the
open, not
projected
still out
spending.
there in space, yeah.
The
Okay,
I got
219.
where
it
your
was,
question
okay.
Yeah, I got you.
So there is 219, we're not
Yes.
taking 216 out of the 219.
Right, okay.
No, we
I
have
was
a
thinking
Yeah, it's the
same.
line
total of
before that. I got you.
419,000.
I looked at it.
That's
the
what
way
our
you did.
surplus
It should have been
was.
here.
Okay.
200,000 of it's going to turf.
Where's the
field.
216?
Got it.
That is, it's encumbered, so it's spent, so to speak, so it's,
Okay.
It's okay,
yes. Sorry for
that's okay.
not being clear.
No, you're.
No.
Got it.
Have we had success with the brackets on the smart board so that they're more usable for the teachers, for the test people that were able to get them?
Yes. The sliding
Oh,
brackets is
okay.
what Pam was talking about. Yes, the teachers that have those are very happy with them. But all rooms it wasn't possible to put those into all rooms, like I know at my building, because of some built-in shelves, so they had to be stationary. But for those who could opt for that, they're very happy, kindergarten colleagues are very happy with the sliding brackets.
If we could look into that, because if they're not fully operational, the smart boards, it would seem like maybe looking at getting the brackets for the people that we can get the brackets for, to make
Sure.
the smart boards functionable in the classroom.
And has there been discussion around the new smart boards that are being purchased, how they're being distributed yet? Do we know?
Don't, but we could ask in a few minutes.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm sure
Oh,
Rachel will have an update
Okay.
during the facilities and technology meeting. I'm sure she will.
wrong meeting. Okay.
We're all inclusive.
Yeah.
And then I know that, or if there's any more questions,
No, not.
I know that there is, we wanted to see some subscriptions, fees, so there's actually, I know that I believe we wanted to look at Tim Gaffney
Yes.
separate, so he would be the last page of the packet. This is what currently, what he's getting, or what he has been paid, and what it is for.
Okay.
Um,
So I do have a question, and it's looking at the Tim Gaffney and Minuteman Press. So just the top line, magazine, Torrington High School, the amount is $25.50. I think that's provide a copy.
Provide copy. In
Provide-
other words, provide
What makes sense?
the stories, like the.
Oh,
Content.
okay,
Right.
so provide the content.
Mhm.
Coordination of layout for 21-page issues. So, all right, so there, it isn't redundant, because I was just looking at what Minuteman is charging for the actual copying. So they're separate. I thought I didn't know what he meant by provide.
Yeah, it's called, in a editorial language, it's copy, like the actual wording in a magazine is
Okay,
copy.
thank you.
Sue, I have a quick question on that one, if I could. I just have no way to raise my hand. I'm in a car.
Okay.
Where does the revenue go from the sales of those books? I see the Minuteman Press is the mass producing, but they are sold in the community in some cases. If this is the same book I'm thinking of,
No, they're free.
this is a different one then?
Yeah, that's a different book.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Thanks, guys.
I think that's a Litchfield County Sports or something.
Yeah, that one's sold.
Get that, Jimmy's.
I mean, we can take the subscription details offline. We don't have to go through line by line right now, but I did want to just take a look so that we all had an idea on where we stand with subscriptions if we need to.
Absolutely. Have been a little busy, so I apologize if there's any misspellings.
Oh, that's okay.
I did it in Excel and there wasn't a spell check, so, but I
That's
think
all right.
I think I got them all.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, any questions, just let me know and we'll get you whatever information you want.
Perfect, will do, thank you. Jeff, since you're right there on the phone, did you have any questions on the budget overall? I don't know if you heard earlier, I just told Scott we were gonna just kind of cut him a break this month, since it's the first month and there's not really much.
No, I was good. Everything looked good to me, and nice job on the surplus. But I'm with Fiona on the smart board question. If the rails were included in the capital purchase that's already above in that gross number, because it would make sense to make those obviously available to everyone if we're buying smart boards.
Okay. Food services, we discussed in executive session, so that's all set. Let's see, topics for future meetings, monthly financials. I don't think there's anything in the hopper. I maybe update on, I don't even think we need to talk about the food services contracts or anything like that. There are no contracts, it's us. So we're good with that. I'm sure by next month we'll think of other things. Comments for the good of the order, Jason?
Good first meeting. I'm excited for the start of the school year and welcome Mr. Wilson to your first budget meeting.
Thank you.
Mr. Wilson?
Just thank you to everyone. I appreciate, obviously, a lot of the board members coming out into the subcommittee. Budget is always a tough topic, but I'm glad to see a lot of interest in it. And just thank you for your support of the team, Scott, myself, Sue, and the rest of the team here. So thank you.
Certainly. Sue?
Happy summer, everyone. It's so great to see you all. Right, the
It's
sun's
over.
finally shining.
For now.
Just
Yeah.
this week. No, Jason.
Yeah.
We're going back to school. The sun's going to stay out.
That's
Yeah.
right.
There you
That's the
go.
word on the street.
No, great meeting. Thank you.
Scott?
No, thank you.
Great meeting, new teacher orientations tomorrow. Yay, that's exciting. Sandy? Okay, Glenn?
Good meeting, Sue.
Oh,
Good job, Sue.
Gary.
You missed Donna.
Donna, I didn't see you. Gary was in the way. Hi, Donna. I would never
Wow.
forget you. Thank you.
Excited to start
Wow.
being
You were so quiet
Happy
over
to be
there.
here.
Good. Thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
Ellen,
Good meeting, thank you.
John.
An hour with an executive session.
I do.
I love the
Beating all
competition.
kinds
I
of
love it.
records. Feeling good,
Wait till
Jeff?
tomorrow.
Thank you. Marissa? Chris, hi.
Chris is back.
Josh? Good to go? All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Jeff?
Second.
I'm
Jeff.
good, guys. Thank you.
Okay. Gary and Glenn.
6:56.
Roll call. Sandy? Here. Superintendent? Here. Assistant Superintendent?
Here.
Kim? Rachel? Here. Sue? Gary?
Yep.
Ellen? John? Fiona? And Jeff's on the line?
I'm here.
All right. Excellent.
Who's on the committee?
I guess I gotta make a motion for that. If you want to add this last one here. To talk
They can
about
talk
it.
about it.
Should we talk about it then? Okay, sure, we can do that. Need a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
I'm not on your committee.
Anybody have
Jeff.
questions?
Jeff.
Second. Second.
All in favor?
All right.
And
Eye on the road, Jeff. Eye on the road.
motion for approval of the minutes.
I wasn't here last time, so, but I'll say, okay with it.
That would be you and Jeff.
So move.
So moved on the minutes, Jeff?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Gary abstains.
What was it this one?
Very thing. Public participation, is there anyone on the line? Excellent. We'll jump right into it. Technology. Section number 1 would be our tech update.
All right, so I heard a little bit of the conversation. I was out in the hallway there. So yes, every room that is slotted to get a smart board was surveyed, and if the room was eligible to get a mount, meaning it has the space in order to slide back and forth, it did get its lighting up. Otherwise, it was just affixed in the current setup. So wherever the projector currently lies is where the board was centered.
How was the allocation decided?
I sent out an email to building principals and asked them to go around and talk to their teachers, find out who needed or wanted a board, and then they submitted new numbers to me. They did. Yep.
So everybody that wanted a board or wanted a mount has one.
Should.
What if they don't? Is
Then
it too late?
it is too late for this round, but I'm hoping we'll get more next year. Seems like we're on that track of about 100 boards a year.
Do we know if there's teachers that wanted them or got them that aren't necessarily comfortable with them, not a fan, that would want to move them out and share and give to somebody else, or is that not a thing? Everybody loves them that has them. I don't know much about them, so I'm just asking.
There are probably some staff members who are more or less comfortable with the board, but removing it from a room with room assignments that switch all the time, you might be leaving the future teacher without a board. So it's really just best practice to keep the board in the room. The board lives with the room and
And then
not
just add-
necessarily the teacher.
Okay, just add as we go if we can.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the projectors are they're on their way out anyway, so.
Okay.
Fiona, you have a question?
So there's the new smart boards and then there's the old smart boards. So I just want to make sure, so people that had the old smart boards, if their room could accommodate the bracket, or the sliding bracket, they all have that?
Yeah, like those old panel ones that worked with the projector, the smart boards, you mean?
Yeah,
Yes, yeah. So if their board was covering a whiteboard, we had the sliding mount surveyed. So if it was eligible, it's getting it.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, so some other things that the team has been up to, they've been super, super busy this summer, inventorying and prepping our current devices. So a little breakdown here, about 2,100 Chromebooks, 510 iPads, 995 Macs. So that's 3,600 devices. So they've been hard at work. Inventorying and prepping new devices. There were new devices ordered for office staff and grades 4-5. So they got those ready to go out. Those will go out beginning of the school year. Office staff already has their new devices to help with registration and getting things done a little more smoothly this summer. Student device distribution has started, as many of you may know. So at the high school, we have currently distributed devices to seniors, juniors, and sophomores. Freshman distribution will happen at the new student orientation this Friday. We had a really good turnout today, so I'm hoping to have the same for the orientation on Friday. Preparing classrooms for success. So every year the classrooms get emptied in order to get cleaned and waxed by the custodians, and then all the stuff gets put back in. So the techs go around to every room and check the setup, make sure everything's plugged in and functional. That way, when the teachers come back, all they have to do is plug in and they're ready to go. So that just avoids any issues with, things potentially not working on their first day.
Downtime or whatever it might be, right?
Exactly, yeah. There was a wireless upgrade at the high school, so we switched out our old Wi-Fi equipment to new Meraki access points. This is to keep up with the increased demand of the MacBooks. These were purchased with E-rate funds a little while ago, but we finally got around to getting this project done. And yes, these access points can and will be taken down and allocated to another school once we are done with that building. And then last thing I have on my list is the touchscreen Chromebooks for second grade. So we have an inventory of touchscreen Chromebooks. Sometimes when our normal model was out of stock, we'd have to opt for a touchscreen model. So we had enough where we thought it would be a good idea to fill all the second grade carts. Since kindergarten and first graders use iPads, we thought that it would be a smoother transition for them into using something with a keyboard. So they still have that touch that they're familiar with, but they still have the keyboard as an option to, learn how to use the keyboard. So we thought that was kind of a nice little idea to help them move along and for a smooth transition to a new device.
I love that. Great. It's kind of a hybrid.
Yeah, yeah. I know I went kind of fast. Any questions?
We like fast.
Okay, awesome. That's all I have for updates.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Do we have any update on the 140 MacBooks that did not get returned that you and I spoke about? Did anybody try and come get another one? Did we recover any of those devices that didn't get returned at the end of the prior school year?
A few of them did get turned in upon them coming to get another device, but not 140.
So we didn't reissue devices to somebody with an outstanding
No.
non-return device?
We did not.
Okay. Is there any, I'm sure you guys have been busy, but what is the plan for recovering these devices? The technology committee, I'm sure would be curious as to what our plan is to prevent it from happening and how we're going to get them back.
So how we've been handling it so far is, speakers over here, just asking them, we say, we see that you didn't turn in your MacBook last year, and, we see that it was last used on such and such date at such and such location. So if you could please turn that in, then you will be issued another device, but until then, it remains off. And then moving forward, we will do the same for anybody who comes in and tries to get another device who hasn't turned one in.
Awesome. How about the 40 that were seniors? Are we going to chase them?
So we have a different administration right now. So what was agreed with the previous administration, we just have to let that be. And going forward, we'll have different requirements.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for the update, Rachel.
Yep, no problem.
I just have one question.
Sure.
It was in regard to Parent Square and the forms.
Okay.
I can't access the forms, so like the sign-off form to get your MacBook, and I guess there was like an option to buy insurance for it. I get in my Parent Square, I can see the forms, but if I click on it, it just says there's a deadline. I can't actually see the form. This is parent thing. I just get this.
So for the school,
No students required this form, no action is required, but I can't see the form.
do you have students enrolled in Torrington?
Yes.
Okay, so under the school posts, so your school would have shared a device distribution post, and the form is linked inside of that post.
The link takes me to Parent Square, which then brings me to this. So maybe we could talk about it offline or something.
Yeah.
I might be doing something wrong, but I don't know if other people can't access the forms to see what they're agreeing to.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I made sure that the full form is a link and is available in the Parent Square form. And if there are any parents listening, we have had a few parents come down to the school, and I've helped walk them through the app. So
Okay.
if
You
they
need
do
to
need
help that
help.
parent walk through.
If they
That's what
do
we're here
need
for.
help, we
That's what we're here
have been
for.
walking them through, yes.
Came to the right place.
Yeah.
Just ask Marissa, she'll figure
All
it
right,
out for you.
that's all I had. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Any other questions on the tech update?
One last quick one. Is there any possibility of next year integrating the payment option from Parent Square so parents can pay for the insurance right as they're doing the form?
Yes, absolutely. I would have loved to have that this year. It just, time caught up to us. But yes, in the future, we will definitely have that.
Awesome. That would be great. Thanks, Rachel.
No problem.
Okay, I'm gonna, just one more thing. Is the insurance kind of like an Apple, like the Apple insurance you get on other MacBooks, or is that self-insured, the district?
Self-insured.
Okay, so that money is going into a bucket somewhere to help defer
Yeah,
something.
for parts and things
Okay.
like that, so we can repair
Chargers,
them.
things like that.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Okay.
so maybe after you can, but maybe we
Yeah.
should do, because I don't even see it on the school page.
So it's on me.
Yeah. So
Okay.
maybe we can just do a quick cheat sheet and maybe post it to Facebook, because maybe other people have used that.
Sure.
problem too.
Social media update?
Okay, I have a quick social media update as well, since, not much is happening on most of the campuses since it's the summer. But on the district page, we have Mr. Wilson and Miss Ferguson handing out backpacks at the backpack event. It was
That's exciting.
very cute. And Sue also gave
was
us.
awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Sue also gave us a few numbers here. So post reached 2,700 people, almost 1,000 people engaged with it. So really, really good engagement, positive engagement, even for the summer. So
Right, we typically see a downtrend, right, over
In
the
the
summer
summer.
because people aren't thinking
Time of-
about
yeah,
school.
right.
and- Yeah, but Rachel, maybe you could just share that things will kick back up again once our coordinators, right?
yep, so there's social media coordinators for each building and then also for the district page that are in the process of being chosen, I believe. So
Every year they re-up for that position and they make sure that our pages are up to date.
So once those positions are filled, then I'm sure they'll start flooding the pages again with new updates.
Mary? Because I'm one of those coordinators. I mean, it's only the school year position, but there is stuff that happens over the summer. And I don't know if there's something that can be done for us to continue through the summer. I mean, I'm still posting, even though technically I was done in June. And I'm up for starting now. I've gotten the contract, but it is, because there is a lot of information that gets disseminated through the summer. And we technically don't have people that are contracted to do it. So I don't know if that's something that could be looked at in regards to just making it a 12-month thing. I know that it's a set stipend based on, I think it's funded through a grant. So I don't know if that we could just extend it out. I think it would be helpful to make sure that parents are getting the most up-to-date information, even from their school sites.
I actually, I don't have kids in the district anymore, but I always go to the different sites still to see what's going on in the
Raise your hand
buildings.
next time you want to ask a question.
Sorry.
And
Yeah,
to
you're not
your
even on the
point,
committee.
you know, the middle school and also Torrington did have a few posts over the summer, and I just wanted to make a point to share those because I do see some deadlines on those posts. So on the middle school insights page, you'll see that there is Little League and the deadline to register is the 27th. So I wanted to make sure that was out there for any parents who are not wanting to miss that deadline. And then also at Torrington on the next page is a Build a Tiger for kindergarten students, which is really cute. And that's happening on the 25th from 10:15 to 11:30 a.m. at Torrington. So Build a Tiger with your incoming kindergarten student at Torrington, PTO sponsored event. So I wanted to make sure I mention those just in case anybody's listening and they wanted to go.
Yeah, thank you. Fiona, you have a question?
Two quick ones. So who would be responsible for updating the pages for like the staff count? So when a staff member leaves, but they're still on the website, would that be, does each building handle that? I've been getting a lot of questions about that. I'm just not sure.
I'm actually not familiar. I know I have updated it myself, especially for this building. But I can definitely look into that and
Okay,
get back
yeah, and
to
maybe
you.
have them check to just make sure.
Yeah,
that
I believe
parents are
it's-
using it to
Yeah.
contact people.
I think usually
Yeah.
Sarah Coolidge, but
Right, but again, back to what Michael shared earlier, it's about communication, right?
Yeah.
If the person who's doing it is not aware that there's
Exactly.
been a change,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's a good reminder, yeah.
That was the first thing, and then just the second thing, it comes up every year, so before we start, if somebody, for the sports, I'm not sure who's responsible for the sports, but a lot of community members go to our website to look for when games are, and they're not out there. So I don't know whose responsibility or wheelhouse that falls into.
so hopefully whoever the new social media coordinator is for each building can connect with whoever the coaches are, and then they can, communicate, and that way they'll be able to post.
And we
when
could reach out
games
to
are.
the AD to make sure that they communicate that as well.
So, and obviously I understand that they're subject to
100%.
change.
Because the AD has the
but-
master list.
Easier coming from one person.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it'd be nice to get the community members too, somewhat these days.
Yeah, the CIAC has a nice calendar that you can link to.
Yeah, but you only know that if you go to Facebook. Right? Most people.
Yeah, you can link that CIAC calendars to that
Right,
calendar if
yeah.
you want. As I think the AD is the one that's responsible for updating CIAC. So that when that calendar gets updated, yours would automatically get updated.
Oh, nice.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, any other questions? Moving on to facilities.
All right.
All right, I don't know who's gonna take the lead on this one, but I'd like to start with the secure foyer project updates.
Sure.
To be honest with you, I don't recall how many we had out there, how many are gonna get executed this year, and what are our plans for future foyer updates as far as getting our ducks in a row for next year.
Sure. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, so the secure FOIA project update. We decided to get everybody together a couple weeks ago, I believe it was, and we all met up there to see a timeline, see if there was anything anybody missed, so we could kind of get going. So we're going to get going in about 6 weeks or 5 weeks now. They also asked us about working over the weekend, that they would do it at, well, no extra charge, but and because it seemed, because we wanted to get this done sooner rather than it's getting done, which Michael and I both emphasized, they had asked us if we would be able to give them access over the weekend, over the week when the school's closed, to get it done. So that was kind of a win for us there to get it done. I'm actually meeting them there tomorrow's teacher, Thursday, to make one last measurement. So I'm meeting him there again, and that's where we are. So things are moving along.
And this is at the middle school, correct? Is that the
Yes.
one foyer project that we have going this year is the
Yes.
middle school?
Yes.
Do we have any others?
I thought, did we,
I thought we had another one that was kind of like,
We do. I think it's number 4. Sorry, that's number, oh, it's not on here. So we have the flooring project at Southwest. I'm sorry, it's not on here. So
flooring?
the flooring,
but no foyer,
No,
secure
I'm talking
foyer?
more strictly the foyer.
not that I'm aware of.
I thought the foyer at Southwest was being done because it was the simple one, cutting that window in the brick wall. I thought, I'd have to look at the notes, but I thought that was on the list to be done in this capital year.
I will double check.
And there had originally been conversation about doing the one at Torrington, but I believe the bids came in much higher than what the grant funding was. So Torrington was put off to be, so the middle school could be completed. That's my recollection.
So we have the middle school, Torrington, and Southwest are the 3 foyers that we kind of wanted to focus on. Right now, only the middle school it's bid and
Done, ready to get going.
everybody's committed.
So we could check on Southwest. That was not on our radar, so I apologize.
I think we took some scope out of that Southwest. I don't think it was ever
There's
finalized.
a lack of scope. There really wasn't much
Right.
in the scope.
But they wanted, it was whether or not we were gonna seal around the windows. But there's, I was gonna look back at the meetings. I don't remember what,
It was executive session, so it's not in there.
no.
We could check on that as well.
Yeah, let's
Because
get a
we-
nice tight scope of work, some specification detailed for Southwest and Torrington, so that going next year, we can get these out and be good summer projects for next summer.
Okay.
We can get those done now. Go ahead.
Yes, we'll do that.
Thought we talked, maybe it was at our last, we had a special board meeting maybe, in July where we talked about, it was right after the budget meeting with the Board of Finance, where we looked, we moved money around and projects around so that we could get the secure foyer projects done for all the buildings. Did we not talk about that? Anybody remember?
Conditional on if there was a surplus.
What?
Conditional on what the surplus was gonna look like.
I just remember just going through, and that paper's in my budget, I think in my budget binder in the car, but we did move some numbers around and said, we're not gonna do this, we focused on making sure that all the buildings had the secure foyer in place before the end of the,
We'll look into
School
it,
year.
and look at the
Okay.
security grants and then.
The meeting I think you're referring to was in June, just, yeah.
was that
It
the
was in
June
because
meeting,
I
you remember?
I wasn't
Talking
present,
about-
Okay,
but I did hear that there was a meeting, but I think, I knew the one that was 100% a go was the one Scott was referencing, and this
The
one
middle
was
school.
the middle school.
okay,
There may be the other, so we have to do some digging on that, so you
Okay.
all may be.
and I'll go back to my notes.
Yeah, no, you may be right,
Too.
and if there is, we'll have to just get some, boots on the ground and get some estimates, and
Okay,
obviously, the ideal time to do that work is summer.
right,
We didn't want to let this one go by, and that's why when we had the meeting with the folks, they came in, they did all the stuff, they put all of the materials on order, met with the building administration as well, so it was a great meeting that Scott and I had with the team up there, and the head custodian as well, to let them know what we're doing when we come, this is what we need. We told the company flat out what we need from them, just in terms of, and notification, because we don't want anyone saying, why are they up there? So that one we felt was just so important because it was approved, and we didn't want to let it lag.
right,
But the other ones, we definitely have to look into, because this, unfortunately, is the first time I'm hearing of those other ones.
Okay.
And I think I could speak for Scott as well, because we've been checking our lists and we haven't seen that, so we'll look
Okay.
into that.
all right, perfect, thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any other questions on secure foyers? All right. TMS roof update, where we stand with that?
Sure. So the contract went to Shipman and Goodman. Shipman and Goodman went to our attorney to review, and they redlined it, some language they want in it. I spoke to Gail Thursday and told him the status of where we were, and we're going to forward it on to, back to them, and just keeping the ball rolling on that one.
Just
So we're still in the contract phase.
So we put it out the bid, we had a low bid, but the contract is not acceptable.
Didn't meet standards at this time. So there was language in there that, I don't want to say was boilerplate by any means, but it was a contract they may have used for a different project and been okay with.
Is it our boilerplate or the terms and conditions of the contract?
It was their contract that they submitted to us. So we had to send it to our attorneys. We actually, believe it or not, had to convert the document, not to get into the details, but once we converted it and sent it off to Shipman, that's what Scott's referring to, that Shipman is now put it in a good place that protects the board and protects the city of Torrington. So it's in the back and forth stage. We're not losing the bid because of it, and we're not losing the company. It's just language to protect the board and the city. That's all.
Okay.
Do we know what their estimated start date is, and do they have winter conditions clauses in there? Do we know?
I'll check.
I thought it was next year. I think it's
Yeah,
next
no,
summer.
Oh, it is next summer.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
next summer.
It's
Yeah, it's not
definitely
for
next
now,
summer, I
yeah.
believe, but.
I was hoping
You don't
they could
remember
hold
that?
I
I thought the same
had
originally,
blew off
Gary,
my
just so you know.
it. They're gonna hold their price for a year, huh?
Yeah. Pretty standard, well, reputable of them, I should say, not standard in
That
the
was
industry.
Southtown? Doesn't matter, as long as they're holding the price.
Yes, they are.
Okay, that's put on our future radar as well. Any other questions on the roof at TMS? Or no, yeah, TMS. No. Radio replacements / performance update. Who can handle the radio?
So I believe the radios are going well. The feedback's been well. I think there was a little training there, and once the training was given, the users are happy with them.
We got all during our last meeting, I went back and read those notes, like it was noted that the first batch was coming. Then there was going to be a second batch of radios that needed to be replaced. Did we get all the replacements that we needed to?
I think we did, but I'm 95% sure that we did,
Yeah.
but I'll make
It just wasn't one
100%
swoop. I
sure.
know there was a couple.
No, it was
stages.
two, and I remember him coming in twice and handing me radios that I think we brought up to the school, so I just don't want to say 100%, but I'm pretty sure we're all set with the radios.
Okay.
Because we're actually waiting for the earpieces now, the wireless earpieces. And I got them to agree to program those for the radios because they need to be programmed. So we won't have any issues with using the wireless earbuds or earphones.
Okay. Larry, you got a question?
I was gonna say, we probably will hear more. We'll probably hear more in about
After
3
school
weeks after
starts.
school
Yeah.
opens.
Right, starts.
Then we'll know.
That is true.
I have a quick one. We were holding back 10% of the project, and Norcom was in no rush to get it because they realized we had problems. But I'm sure if they finished the radio replacements, one of the first calls they made was to get their 10% holdback. Have we paid them yet?
I'll double check. I'm pretty sure we did though. So, but again,
That would make me think that we're probably done, but obviously we have to check. But thanks, Scott. I appreciate it.
yeah, no, I think we did. I'm pretty sure we did, but I will double check.
Any other questions? All right, moving on. I'm gonna kill you, Sue.
Not so fast, you still have 4 items.
These are quick, We already went over.
Director of Facilities Replacement Update, we kind of spoke about that already, so if you guys want to move on, we can kind of just skip that unless anybody has any questions that didn't hear anything in the previous meeting.
I missed that portion of the meeting. Could I get the 10-second version?
No.
Can we-
It was executive session.
Now, there's no.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there's no candidate right now.
That's all I needed to know. Thanks.
Still up in the air and interview.
If I could just add on that super
Sure.
quick, just to publicly thank Scott and other members of the team. We've all stepped up, you know, to make sure that projects are still getting done, work is getting done. And Chris behind us here, kudos to him. He's been my eyes and ears every morning and Scott's eyes and ears every morning with building stuff. So we're all chipping in. The team is coming together. we know we need someone, and we're taking that position very seriously, but kudos to everyone who stepped up. Kudos to everyone on the team.
Oh, Chris, I didn't
Thank
add
you.
Chris to the, I didn't mention him in the
Well,
attendance. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Catch basins at the Torrington School.
Complete.
Beautiful.
We have pictures.
Beautiful pictures.
All right,
I didn't eat my Wheaties today, so I couldn't
Look
get
at
the
that
van off
seaming.
that one.
That's a beautiful catch basin.
all right.
It's nice. Done, and that's the other one.
What a handsome man.
Hold on.
Stuck in the picture there. I like
Yeah.
that. I know that
That's it.
driveway is
Those are my
pretty
pictures.
pounded. Are there any other ones that we should put on? Looking to get replaced like
I could
next
take a
year or
look at
this year?
them. I wasn't looking at any others,
No?
but I could look at,
The
others?
driveway's been pounded, the curbing's been pounded.
Sure.
Okay. All right, one of those pictures is a good prelude to the next one,
Yeah.
so,
the Torrington driveway.
so the,
I went by, I know there's yellow tape up, I was just wanted to bring it up to make sure that it's done and we have all the proper approvals with the city. Because I know we kind of ran into some trouble without getting approvals last time. We know everything's been signed off by the traffic department and the state of Connecticut and all that.
sure, so I spoke to Jeremy twice, the city planner,
Yep.
and he's going by Thursday is his day to go around and check any projects that he needs to check. He said, if I don't hear from him Thursday, just assume everything's fine, because I had asked him, do we receive anything in writing or anything? And he said, no, if it's, they have something in their records, well, no, I'm just repeating here. I gotta take him at his
You know
word.
where that we're going
He
with
said
that.
that they have, they do have a sign off or whatever that goes into the planner or the blueprints or whatever is at City Hall, but he asked me if I wanted something, and so I could get something
I
if
would
we need
confirm in
something.
an email because
Yeah,
we
just
had an
confirm
issue
in an
the
email.
last time and
Yeah.
then they came and tried to issue a cease and desist
Right.
order.
Of
So-
course,
Just
sure.
gotta come.
I mean,
yeah,
they were
yeah,
inspecting.
yeah.
If they inspected and they let it continue, then it's their fault. But
I know,
yeah,
but
an email,
still,
no, I said.
Yeah, but they
email.
still, yeah, we had a verbal
That
agreement
we're okay to
before.
open the school and can use that driveway.
Well, one thing I've noticed out there, of course, I think in the end it's going to have to be fixed, is you drive in, it's like an immediate 90-degree turn.
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem. But it's nobody's fault. We're going to end up, because this is going to get ripped up as you try to take your turn there. There's not enough room to make that turn. I know. I think
For big, huge
a lot of people,
vehicles.
almost anything. When you get forward momentum on the vehicle, it pushes on that asphalt, and you kind of move. But I mean, it's an easy fix next year. You just put in some sort of concrete, like you see at Cumberland Farms, that concrete curbing. You drive over it that way, because people are going to come in. I'm not going to tell you who's driving, but they're driving the cars, and they're
Probably a man.
and it's probably a man my age.
Thank you, Ellen.
Yeah.
All right. I was about to
Because
say
he
that.
was
I
gonna
said,
say, probably a woman.
And
he was
no,
gonna
I was
say.
not going to
We
say.
were ready,
I was going to say a
All right,
man.
fantastic. Here.
I was going to say a man, and as they take that turn, they're going to be driving over the grass all the time. It's really hard to make that turn with anybody. It's going to be a fix next year.
We could take that under advisement for improvements next time. My
Yeah, exactly.
major concern right now is that we have the approvals to use the
Yeah,
driveway. We're not
yeah.
gonna get closed down and have to shut it.
Right, again.
The second day of school.
Yeah, they inspect it,
have a
but
lot of upset
we'll
parents.
Jeremy will give you an email. Jeremy will send an email.
Yeah, I'll call him first thing in the
He's the
morning.
planner.
Yeah.
Tell him we want it.
It's his
It's not gonna get inspected.
After he's
before
done.
You can
Thursday.
send
Yeah.
him an email to please confirm,
Yeah.
Right.
and he just has to
Either way.
reply.
Come on, John. I mean, Scott.
I was trying to get his laugh down, but I just couldn't do it. So.
Waiting inspection. Any other questions? No. Midgeon roof repair update. Let's hear some good news.
We've had 2 downpours and we're still
Dry?
dry.
Yay!
And we're still dry, so.
Awesome.
No more shower and Sue's off.
That's great.
I've got a
Shower's
big
been removed.
Boston fern sitting right under where it used to pour, right, Chris?
Yeah.
It's doing very well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good. Very good.
Yeah, very pleased with that.
Okay, good. No other leaks anywhere else. Anybody have any other questions? Yeah. Topics for future meetings. I guess it's gonna be a month, right? Or no, it's only gonna be in a couple weeks, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, so I'm gonna defer to a lot of this stuff, I guess.
You don't have a lot of questions.
Yeah, we need some time to like get some of this information.
I have one, Glenn, for future meeting if I could.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Just the take rate on the device protection plan, and it's kind of a summary of how it all panned out in our next, whenever, if we have a meeting in 4 weeks, that we'll have an idea. If we're meeting in 2 weeks, it may have to be the meeting after that.
What did you want? Device protection plan?
We have a device protection plan in the district, that insurance policy you asked Rachel about earlier.
Yeah.
It would be great to know what the take rate is, what percentage of students took it.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna put the radio update on the next one, so let's get some positive
Alright.
feedback sooner rather than later. Make sure there's no dead spots or problems with the radios. Is that okay? You guys with the- yeah. Anything else you guys wanna add?
October, we really need to start looking at the buildings
That's
in
what I was-
preparation for the new school opening,
October.
what we're doing. I'm just thinking, hopefully maybe we'll have someone by then. There is a report that was done as part of the secondary ad hoc that we're gonna try to locate, which had every building, the square footage, number of rooms, what the rooms could accommodate for the elementary. So that,
Is this more for like, more of a transition into the new building? Is that?
well, because we need to know what exactly the board has to definitively vote, is 4, 5, 6 going to a middle school, can they still fit? What's gonna happen with the existing buildings that we have? Because that's gonna be a lot. It's not just gonna be moving those kids, it's gonna be a lot of other things that are gonna be impacted.
But will that be a separate, like, subcommittee to a subcommittee, or will that be?
But I think
There
like
could be, but we still
facilities can
need-
start to look at
right,
what
yeah.
do we have now,
Right, I mean, going forward, we have to set up.
and then
Yeah,
that,
you'll
those
need to share.
decisions will come, but we need to know for sure, you know, how many kindergarten rooms could fit at 4, you know, with the requirements with needing a bathroom for the floor.
It's gonna be like redistricting and everything, right? It's gonna affect transportation.
It could, we just have to look at
Yeah.
everything, see what we have.
Well, the worst of that's already been done
Yeah.
with,
Right.
There's a lot
The
of
sister
data here
schools.
already.
Yes,
Yeah.
We have it.
yeah, that's
We
the,
have most of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I think we have to provide the information to them to make the determination where they want the kids to go.
We have the information here, it's just, I don't want us to get, and I, you know,
What do you mean by here?
we have the information essential.
Oh, okay.
I just don't want us to get too close and be
Okay.
really.
During-
struggling.
All right, and not to open up a huge discussion next time, how about if we just put an item down here to develop an outline of the information we need to address this? Just an outline discussion, you know? Okay.
Something else we're gonna lose sight of, I don't know where we ended up, but this whole clean air, air conditioning.
That's going on, no, that was the one that's getting moved to next. the
Well, without
next
having a
agenda.
facilities
We'll have
guy.
enough time to pull that together.
Well, what are we gonna do with it until we got somebody,
We have time.
not that Scott can't handle it. But, you
Yeah.
know, it's gonna take a mechanical
We're gonna
Knowledge.
put that on the next
to
meeting.
deal with, yeah.
HVAC, state, what do we wanna call it? State regulated HVAC?
Mandates,
Yeah, the state
State
mandates, yeah.
guidelines.
unfunded mandates.
Throw that on your plate, Scott.
What?
I'm just kidding. I mean, he's gonna take a strong.
I'd like to start.
You may want
I know
to
which one.
email Ed Corey as our legislative liaison, to see what he can shake down from them in Hartford about it. There's nothing in writing new, but if there's anything else going on. Like the fact that there's not enough contractors to do this work.
Yeah.
Helpful, what are they gonna do about that?
Mhm.
I don't see anything else we need to have here, man. All right, well, I guess we're all set. Comments for the good of the order? Go around this way. We'll start with the facilities guy. Chris,
I'm
no,
not
you
paying
want to say anything? No? Oh, I'm sorry, Jason, behind me. Go ahead.
Great meeting. Looking forward to the start of the school year.
All good. Thank you again to the board and thanks to the team for stepping up. And we're gonna keep moving with facilities and looking forward to welcoming everyone back next week.
great meeting, thank you.
Okay.
I want to thank Chris also for his help and counsel. Thank you.
Great meeting, thank you.
Great meeting. Thanks.
And you're gonna help me with my
And I will help you.
Yeah.
Personal IT, I like that.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. All set. Good meeting, Glenn.
Donna?
That, Donna?
You know.
It was a great meeting. People seemed very relaxed, and Scott, I think, did a great job stepping up and taking what you could take on and presenting it.
Thank you, sir.
Chris? Fine, thank you guys so much. I know you don't have to do what you guys are doing, so it's greatly appreciated in this gap.
Chris, I mean,
Jeffrey, have any comments for the good of your order?
Just wanted to say thanks everybody for all the hard work over the summer. IT with all pushing everything out the door. I know it's busy. And Scott, we do certainly notice that you're helping out with facilities and much appreciated.
Same time.
Thank you.
Martha?
Thanks, guys.
Nice. Josh? Nothing? All right, I think that's everybody. Motion to adjourn?
so
Second.
There you go.
Second myself. All right. All in favor? Aye.
nice.
7:40.
New record, new
Nice
record.